10 Fantastic River Nile Facts. You undoubtedly already know that Egypt's longest river, the Nile, flows through the land of the pyramids and mummies. But it's far more complicated than that. Find out our compilation of interesting facts about the Nile. 1. It runs through 11 countries. The river flows through 11 African nations, including Egypt, Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Burundi, Ethiopia, Kenya, Eritrea, Sudan, and South Sudan. However, Egypt is the country with which it is most commonly identified. 2. It might be the longest river in the world. However, it might not be. The Nile is undoubtedly the longest river in Africa because of its length of around 4,132 miles, 6,650 kilometers. However, some scientists believe that the South American Amazon River may be longer. A river is difficult to gauge. 3. There are several Niles. The Nile receives two important tributaries as a source of water. The White Nile, which originates in South Sudan, and the Blue Nile are two tributaries of the Niles, which are larger rivers, which starts in Ethiopia. 4. To the ancient Egyptians, the Nile was of utmost importance. Rivers were very significant to humans in the past. They permitted quick transportation for one reason. Before railroads and automobiles, traveling by boat was the quickest and most convenient option. In addition to doing this, the Nile also gave people access to clean water, and most crucially, it allowed them to farm. Egypt is a fairly dry country, making it a poor area to cultivate crops. Nevertheless, every August, the Nile would flood, making the region suitable for farming. This implied that they could cultivate food back then. 5. There are no longer any floods. Between 1960 and 1970, the Aswan Dam was constructed to reduce flooding in the Nile River basin. The annual flood was beneficial, but it could be unpredictable and occasionally resulted in too much or too little water flowing into the basin. This is good for modern Egyptians because it provides hydroelectricity, electricity powered by the movement of water, and it allows them to control the flooding to ensure farmlands are perfect for farming. 6. The Nile is still important. More than 95% of Egypt's population, or approximately 100 million people, reside in or close to the river basin. 7. It's a wildlife sanctuary. Numerous wildlife species, including birds, fish, snakes, hippos, and the most famous of them, the Nile crocodile, call the Nile home. With a maximum length of 16 feet, this majestic creature is Africa's largest crocodile. 8. The bed linens you use could be from the Nile. Egyptian cotton, which has historically been farmed along the banks of the Nile and is regarded as one of the best cottons available, is one of Egypt's most well-known commodities. 9. The ancient Egyptians thought it was a pathway to the afterlife. One of the many beliefs the ancient Egyptians held on the afterlife was that the Nile River served as a conduit between life and death. The pyramids, which are located on the western bank of the river, are actually graves. The west was associated with death in ancient Egypt because that is where the sun sets. 10. It's the place of a festival. Every August, the Wafa El Nil event is conducted to commemorate the historic flooding of the Nile. People get ready for ancient-style boats, dress colorfully, and float the river dancing while they drop flowers and express gratitude to the water for being obedient.